Hello everybody, I'm Tokusatsu, and this is a Men of War Assault Squad video sent in by Sterlitz2 is I think his name. He played this 1v1 at some point, and then he sent me the video very kindly of him, so that now we all have something to watch, and maybe in the background you can hear the door to my room rattling. That's because the people live upstairs, have a kid who's running around or something. If you can't hear that, then, I don't know, maybe I sound like I'm crazy. More crazy than normal. So, obviously we have the Russians chosen as the side that our hero Sterlitz will be playing as. And who's he fighting? I don't know. Can you identify that man? He looks pretty German to me, actually. An MP40 guy, but we'll find out in a second when somebody dies. Or maybe we won't, because it won't really tell us. STG-44 just killed one of his men. So his opponent, Cornet 3, is playing as the Germans, and he has bought a, well, I don't know what that squad would be. I guess it's like a Stormtrooper squad, I'm not sure what it's called, but they come with STG-44s, so he's bought a more expensive infantry squad right off the bat, which makes sense in this 1v1. You know you're only going to be engaging your opponent, and unless they sort of fake you out with an armored car or something, it's going to be infantry fights, so if you get the good infantry, you can do some good damage. And it looks like Sterlitz, our hero of the match, is being pretty aggressive is the right word. He's set up his sandbags on the left within this capture point, so that's why he secured it. In the middle he sent somebody, and the opponent only sent one person. Sterlitz did some nice grenade work and wiped that guy out, so he's also captured the middle. And on the right he's not content to let his opponent capture it. He's set up sandbags himself and he's fighting over it. So you can also see him in direct control using the submachine gun to its full effect, something like a PPSH, well, especially a PPSH because it's got such a huge store of bullets, but any sort of submachine gun, fairly inaccurate at long range, but if you direct control and just point it directly at the person you want to shoot and shoot him, especially on full auto, you can do some more accurate fire. Typically you'll be better at hitting just because you're more confident, and you wait till you get a good shot and then you just spam the trigger. Just lay it on, whereas the infantry in the game, when the AI is controlling them, tend to fire in bursts if they're using submachine guns and they're far off. So we have a heavy machine gun purchased by the enemy, and Sterlitz attempts to take it out with his half-track driving straight at it. Half-track, of course, does not really have a lot of armor, so it is shredded by that machine gun. It does do some good damage, though, and a combination of that, plus, I guess, managed to wipe out the sandbags, means that Sterlitz's infantry can finish this off and at least decrew it. So now he's trying to destroy it. That poor soldier, his job was to destroy it. The thing is, Sterlitz has to be careful and keep the enemy from recrewing it. What he can do now is he can run over the machine gun, like he just ran over his unfortunate soldier. He can try and capture the machine gun, bam, runs it over. So that's a great way to disable enemy stuff, and I'm sure you've had this happen to you if you've played much Men of War, but running over stuff is very cost effective, especially if it's low risk like this, when it's not super close to the enemy line. So Sterlitz is now in a good position, and anticipating possible vehicles, he buys a bazooka and sets them up, ready to go. The opponent must be now licking his wounds and contemplating some sort of major assault, because if he doesn't do something soon, he's going to get his ship pushed in. Sterlitz already has 20 points and the enemy has 0, so you got to get on moving. And so we have an AT rifle heading to the left, very good, distributing his AT all around Sterlitz, because he doesn't know where the attack's going to come. We do have a light scout car coming, so any sort of AT could have handled this. Firing at that high value point on the target, because he wants to keep that thing from being capped. Looks like people have gotten into the bushes. Does the enemy see these people in the bushes? He could have seen the bush move if he was watching very closely. And in fact, now if he's still watching, he could still see the bush move. So that you gotta be really careful moving around those bushes. They can't actually get line of sight on you, obviously, because the bush is covering you. But the opponent can see those bushes wiggle just as well as you can see the bushes wiggle. So be careful about wiggling bushes, because they might just start blind firing into the bush. It's a little tough to hit, especially if it's down slope like this, because they don't have anything to aim at, and they have to aim at the ground, and it can be very hard to aim at the ground down slope. But if they see something in the bush and they can fire into the bush, you can get hit. So unfortunately Sterlitz is spotted with his AT infantry trying to stand up. Once you sort of do some movement and try and get some shots on that thing, they can see you. So in response, he buys his own scout car rather than repositioning his AT rifleman, probably because one, his AT rifleman would be kind of slow, maybe couldn't even catch the scout car, and two, he probably didn't want to lose his AT rifleman. The scout car, of course, very good at mowing down enemy infantry, and since his AT rifleman counts as enemy infantry, there's a chance it would have died. So, good job by the opponent with that blitz, with that scout car, and also better job following it up with infantry. You notice the opponent captured the right-hand point and is capturing the middle, and hasn't let the pressure up. A lot of players, they'd either drive around with the scout car trying to kill people, but they wouldn't be able to follow it up with infantry super fast, or they would follow it up with infantry, but then they would try and use their scout car to defend the infantry or something. No, this opponent's putting pressure on everywhere. He's sending his infantry over to cap things so that he knows the opponent's going to have to respond to that, and he also knows that while the opponent responds to that, he'll be able to attack in another direction with his scout car and catch him unaware. So really he wiped out all of Sturlitz's units. And now Sturlitz down to a couple machine gunners, a couple riflemen, and his scout car. And he just bought SMG infantry, I guess. Or no, AT infantry. He just bought AT infantry, and then he detached one man from the squad, and he's a submachine gunner. So that AT infantry should hopefully be able to protect him a bit from this armored car. Sturlitz being cautious and just moving up, taking this right-hand point. Not much else he can do. How does he, he's got the enemy line of sight turned on permanently somehow. Maybe when you click on the enemy car to see his line of sight, it just stays until you do something else. Oh, wow. Ha! Guy in the bush to the left just takes it out. See, that's why it's always nice to have people hiding around him at a war, for whatever reason. This time he was capping the point, so he had an ulterior motive, but it's nice to just have people all around, because bam, you never know when they're going to bust out with an AT grenade of the revolution and save your ass, because frankly, Sturlitz just got his shit pushed in. What was I saying? Wow, did he just buy partisans or something? That's a shit ton of riflemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's like, boy, what the fuck? Maybe he just bought 2 squads. That's probably what happened. I don't know. So yeah, I would like to know how he can permanently see the line of sight on that armored car. If you click on it, just left click, not right click, unless you've swapped your mouse buttons. I don't know. Men of War has weird mouse button sort of conventions. I'm not sure. That dates back to Soldiers Heroes of World War II, so maybe they're just like, we're not even going to bother changing this. I don't know. But if you click on enemy vehicles, you can see their sort of line of sight cones, and you get separate ones for the, oh wow, we have a machine gun up in that windmill, I think. You have separate line of sight cones for the hull. Oh no, it's just behind that sandbag. Separate line of sight cones for the hull and for the turret, because of course they rotate independently. So good job by the opponent setting up machine guns with large fields of fire. This is sort of a weird point to defend because it's like in the middle of a canyon, right? So you've got these 2 hills on either side of it. But the opponent did as good a job as he could setting up machine guns. I think there is a machine gun in the windmill. Setting up, yeah, definitely a machine gun in the windmill. Setting up a good sort of kill zone here. He has his infantry all spread out and some people behind sandbags, so he can get some good shots in on Sturlitz as he tries to move in. So good job there. So here's the BA-64, probably gonna get killed by this armored car if it gets some lucky shots. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Russian armored cars, not a lot of them with heavy I mean, scout cars, not a lot of armored cars in general, not a lot of armor on those things. I'm trying to think of heavily armored cars. The British have the Daimler, which I think has slightly heavier armor. What else? I don't know. But yeah, especially with higher caliber rounds, they're gonna kill you. Like, you can see this happening. So now we have a ZSU-37, the terror of the battlefield, because it's for shooting down planes, but in Men of War it's good for all sorts of things, especially killing scout cars and infantry. Anything with a gun that fires quickly, a slightly higher caliber round than a machine gun, but still fast firing like you typically find on scout cars. Really nice for taking out armored cars, because with armored cars you want to hit. You need to hit if you miss, and you need to reload for a while, like with an AT gun or a tank. They're probably just going to drive away, so you gotta hit, and you gotta penetrate, so sometimes a machine gun's not enough. Often a machine gun's not enough. It was enough against that half-track we saw early on, but unless it's a 50 cal machine gun, it's probably not enough, so if you have a cannon, like this cannon on the ZSU, or the cannon on the SDKFC that the German has, then you can punch through. So now we have that guy pulls out his Molotov cocktail. That was a futile thing even from the beginning, before his Molotov got shot and exploded in his hand. So remember, kids, Molotov safety is very important. Never pull out your Molotov while running towards a windmill with a machine gunner who's got a bead on you. And if that's not a life lesson, I don't know what is, folks. Hey, he repaired his BA-11. That's nice. The BA-11 is nice because, oh, look at that shot. This is why you want fast reloads. The faster the reload, the better. First shot doesn't kill it. Second shot penetrates and doesn't really do anything. Third shot, he was in direct control and accidentally shot the hill. Fourth shot misses. Fifth shot also misses. So imagine if he was going pew 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 like the ZSU-37. That thing would have been dead 6 times over. But instead, he's got his BA-11 with a cannon that's frankly more powerful than he has need for. So, Sturlitz has been very cautious moving into this middle point, and rightly, I think. It's sort of a crossfire with a lot of death and destruction. But now that he's got sort of the armored power to move in, he's moving on up to that capture point in the middle. And we'll see how it goes for him. Gotta take out that machine gunner. Or a guy with an FG-42, maybe paratroopers that he's fighting here. Can he even aim up? That's funny. I think the BA-11 can't aim up high enough to hit the windmill. I find that extremely amusing. Uh-oh, you're fucked. It's a tank. It's a Panzer IV. It's a very lightly armored. Maybe you're not fucked. The thing turns slowly enough that, oh, he backs into the fucking windmill and kills the gunner on the top when the windmill collapses. Or maybe it wasn't the gunner on top, maybe it's the guy with, aha! Oh, now the track is damaged and you're not going to be able to rotate fast enough. Oh, but Sturlitz runs into a wall. You're stuck. Boom! Oh, hit with an AT grenade. That was hilarious in 8 ways. I'm so happy Sturlitz sent this game in. Thank you, Sturlitz. So, you saw how the opponent he sort of caught off guard. He rolls in his tank and he's like, oh, I'm gonna fuck some shit up. And then the tank immediately has to start like backpedaling as Sturlitz pulled the sort of crazy nice machine gun, or nice grenade cook, by the way, right there catching the machine gun. As Sturlitz pulled that crazy charge because of course a tank, it can only rotate its turret so fast, and if your car is fast enough, this is one of the dangers of direct control, by the way. Sturlitz always running into stuff. Because you're looking where you're aiming rather than where you're driving, so you end up running over things like friendlies or rocks. So, if the tank can't rotate enough, you are going to get circle strafe. Circle strafing is not just something that happens in like Company Heroes or unrealistic games. It can happen for realsies in Metal War, and that's what happened to that tank. And especially when the track gets taken out, then you're in big trouble. Because, of course, to counteract the circle strafe, you can simultaneously move the tank. Oh man, this poor low-caliber gun's only going to be able to take out the track of this T-34. But it took out both tracks. That's pretty handy. Sure, it's switching to HE to nail this thing, but you can't see it because it stopped firing, which was good on its part. Once you've taken out the tracks, no need to keep shooting. If the opponent's smart, he'll have moved this thing far, far away by now. Otherwise, Sturlitz is going to blow the crap out of it. So you can counteract circle strafes on your... Oh, he wasn't smart. He didn't move it. It's still there. So that's not good. So you can counteract... Oof, this is looking bad for the T-34. 1 man left alive in there. That guy's, like, not happy. Okay, now he's dead. So you can counteract the circle strafing on your tank if you go into direct control and move the tank manually to reorient the hull at the same time, because of course a tank can do a 360 without it can turn anywhere it wants because it has treads, so it just puts 1 tread in forward and 1 tread in reverse and it just turns in place. So that can augment your turning time. That takes some micro. You gotta actually have to take control of it yourself manually, but if you see someone trying to circle strafe on you, just keep that in mind. So I guess we have an artillery piece bought by Stray, I've forgotten his name. Oh, Sturlitz is his name. Oh, is that an artillery piece or just a big fuck-off AT gun? Super heavy ATBS. Okay, this has got to be a new unit added, right? Look at this motherfucker. It's shooting 90% of the way across the map. Look at the mini-map. Look at the mini-map. Look how far this thing is firing. Boom. Unfortunately, since it's 100 millimeters, it takes forever to reload. These guys have to be like Olympic-class weightlifters to put the shell in. So it takes them 10 minutes to put another shell. So it means when he misses those 2 times, he's not going to get many more chances. So it said the penetration chance was red on that Panzer IV. Maybe the angle was just bad or something, because that was it's a fucking big AT gun. I'm surprised it didn't have a better chance to penetrate Panzer IV, even from the front, which is tough to penetrate. So let's do a score check. 42 points for Sturlitz, 32 points for the enemy. So the enemy making a strong showing, but Sturlitz still in the lead, especially since well, is he capturing that midpoint? Or is the enemy capturing the midpoint? It's tough to tell. Sturlitz's guy seems to be out of the radius, but I don't see any enemies in the radius. Of course, they might be hidden. Look how slow that AT gun moves. It must be heavy as hell. BS3. I wonder what BS stands for. Something Russian. Probably not bullshit. Unlikely to be bullshit. That would be a very big coincidence. But you can buy that with hero points, so keep that in mind. Also, you can buy with hero points a sniper. Did I make a worth its points cost in tank crewman sniper video? Let me check YouTube. Worth its points cost in tank crewman sniper. Episode 9, the sniper. Yes, that is online, so you can watch right now about the sniper, learn some facts about him. And hopefully Sturlitz didn't do anything interesting with the sniper while I was busy checking YouTube to see if I had posted a video. What's this guy? Guard's sniper. From the Red Guard. So he's a hero unit. Of course. And that's it for Sturlitz's hero unit points. It was either 8 and 2 for the artillery and the sniper, or like 7 and 3, something like that. So no more hero points for that. And I think it's sensible to use them right off the bat, or at least at some point. As people who have watched my videos know, sometimes I forget to use these things, or I'm reluctant. Is really what happens. I try and save them for when I need them. It's the way. So, what is happening with this? Oh, he's got an AT rifle over here on the right. Is that what's going on? No, he has a bazooka over here. Somehow he killed all the crew in this, and fucking absconded with it. That's hilarious. So, the way I used to play single-player games, and okay, I shouldn't say used to, because I still do it. I thought I had cured myself, but I've only partially cured myself. The way I definitely used to, and still sort of play single-player games, single-player first-person well, okay, as I say this, I realize I'm like a worse and worse gamer than I thought I was. So, you save shit, right? It's a single-player game, and you're like, if it's an RPG, somebody drops like a potion of enlarge your dick or whatever, and if it's a first-person shooter, someone drops like a rocket launcher. And so I guess these are the two kinds of games where I do this. I don't do it in strategy, don't really play single-player strategy. Let's just click on my Steam game list, see if there's other kinds of games I do it in. Oh, roguelikes. I've played a few roguelikes recently. I do it in there. So yeah, RPGs and stuff. You'll like save all the good stuff, or I will save. Oh man, Sturlitz almost ran over one of his own men, but that was, here's a blitzkrieg assault, kind of wipe out some of these sandbags. Very important to either kill the sandbags or kill the people hiding behind them, because otherwise your infantry are not going to have a fun time on the assault. And it looks like Sturlitz is going to be able to move up and push through. Interesting that he decided not to do not necessarily push in the middle. And the opponent is repositioning a tank over here, so Sturlitz might be in some trouble if he doesn't figure out a way to deal with this tank, but it doesn't matter if he's able to decap and recap this point, or even just decap, put him in a slightly better position. I just hiccuped a couple times, but I will now cure my hiccups, and I'll tell you later how to cure hiccups too, if I haven't mentioned it in an earlier video, which I may have, because I think it's like the coolest thing in the world to be able to cure hiccups. But wow, Sturlitz is just, he's on a grand world tour. Something's coming at him from the left. Panzer IV coming in from the left. Luckily runs over a machine gun before it dies, and of course this was stolen in the first place, maybe making Sturlitz a little more emboldened with its use. This could be a good AT shot. This could be a really good AT shot. Panzer IV is showing its side, Panzer IV is showing its front now, and it's actually behind the armored car, using it as a shield. Sturlitz don't care. Sturlitz firing at it or loading an APCR round. If you load an APCR round, you do not want to fire through anything. The second an APCR round hits something, it's useless unless it hits an enemy tank, of course, which it does all its damage when it hits, because it sort of splinters. I don't know what the fuck an APCR round is, but don't let it go through anything. Don't let it go through walls, don't let it go through people, don't let it go through like armored cars that your opponent is using as some shell of a former thing. Don't let it go through stuff. So this is an interesting fight, but I want to get back to talking about what I do in role-playing games and first-person shooters and roguelikes when I play single-player. You save all the good stuff. So like I get a rocket launcher, I'm like, I might need this later. So I go back to using like the pistol. I get like an assault rifle, I'm like, I might need this later for like slightly harder enemies. So again, I'll just headshot everybody with the pistol. You get like potion of dick enlargement, and I'm like, I might need this later to enlarge my dick, and so right now I'll keep my dick tiny and stuff like this. And so I finished Rage the other day, that sort of first-person shooter. Not totally recommended unless you're a huge fan of guns and shooting stuff, because that's the only thing that game does right. Everything else it does badly, but like shooting stuff is super fun. in that game. Very nice shotgun, very nice assault rifle. Everything else in Rage sucks. The graphics are pretty awesome too, unless you get within 10 feet of anything, then it looks blurry as shit. So anyways, I finished Rage the other day, and I was like, I didn't know it was the last level. Like, this is one of the many things about Rage that sucks. Like, the game just ends. It's like, game over. Here's the ending cutscene. You're like, what the fuck? So, even if I had known that, though, I get to the ending level. I have, like, super awesome guns and everything. I got, like, rocket launchers. I got 2 kinds of assault rifles. I got a shotgun. I got my pistol, my sniper rifle, and the thing is, it gives you alternate ammo too, and you can like buy special alternate ammo that's even better than the alternate ammo. So I had like electronic like zap rounds for my shotgun and rocket launcher rounds for my shotgun, and fuck knows what I had for the rocket launcher that were better than rockets. I had like awesome assault rifle bullets, and like I had a pistol that fired normal bullets, and then it also had like a bullet that fired multiple bullets. Then it had a bullet that fired multiple of those multiple bullets. I never used any of this shit. I finished that game with basically the pistol and like the assault rifle. And like I get to the end and I was like, this game is probably over soon. So I got my shotgun out and I put the rocket launcher shells in there and I blew apart like 6 people and I was like, this is fucking awesome. And then the game ended. And so I'm like, oh, I thought I was done doing this. Cause like I used to play every game like this. I finished Half-Life with like use the crowbar the entire time, finished Bioshock, use like the fucking wrench the entire time. It's bullshit, cause like, what are you saving this shit for? So I thought I had cured myself, but apparently no, I haven't. I just finished Rage and I didn't do this. So this is the mentality I don't have in multiplayer games, because I'm playing to win, and you should play to win too. Or at least that's how I have fun. I play to win, and I have fun playing to win. So it's not like I save the big stuff. It's not strategically viable to save the big stuff for later. But the thing is, that's still the sort of mentality. And by the way, the sniper's been picking off people the entire time. By the way, it's the thing is, I still have that mentality towards hero units sometimes, and hero points, because you get 10 of them, and they don't recharge. You buy your guard sniper and your giant fuck-off AT gun, and you're out. Like, Sturlitz is now out of hero points, although the sniper's doing a good sniping, and this super heavy AT gun is still alive. And here comes this tank. Interesting choice by the opponent engaging with his tank. I'm not sure what he's trying to take out, but so Sturlitz content to play the long game, using a sniper just to pick off people in the middle and hoping to maybe kill some people with the AT gun and the tank. Oh, what he's going to try and do here is probably either kill it or at least take out the track. To see us, you can punch through the side of the rear armor of a Panzer IV, I believe, but what he's probably just trying to do, if at all, is immobilize this thing, and then he can pounce on it later with his T-34. So the thing I often do in Men of War, because I'm an idiot, is like I'm saving my hero points. I'm like, well, what if later in the game I find the perfect situation to buy like a Goliath or whatever? I better be able to buy that. And it's probably not a great idea. Open top of the CSU is sometimes a liability. Probably not a great idea. Sturlitz used his fairly early... Bam! Nailed that engine. Yeah, look at this. Fuck that thing up. Fuck it up. Fuck that up. Wow, he bought another Flak 38, really? He just... I mean, it's a good thing to use. Boom, 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 boom. It's a good... Flak 38 is nice on defense. It can take out, like you see, these light vehicles, even with the better armor, and it really chews up infantry, too, because it fires fast enough, and it's not bad. And it'll detract tanks, of course. You saw it detract the T-34, so it's a nice little gun to have hanging around on defense, and it's not unusual that the opponent bought another one. Wow, very briefly it looked like Sturlitz could get in that tank, which of course means the hull was not destroyed, and it was being repaired, just the engine and everything was fucked up and all the crew was dead. So now Sturlitz is trying to take it out for realsies. Doesn't even try and... isn't satisfied with hull damage. He needs to blow this thing up. And he gets close enough for an AT grenade, really needs to throw it, Slightly overshot. I could have, like, I hope you saw that coming as much as I did. The crosshair even changes color. Oh man, he only has one AT grenade? That's unfortunate, but I guess when you have a bazooka, you really don't need more than that. Like, I mean, obviously you do need more than that. This is a case when you need more than that. So the thing about the bazooka, it's really nice at penetrating. It'll always, well, not always, but it'll really get through that armor, but, and it'll blow up whatever it it'll destroy whatever it hits pretty much, because it penetrates and boom, it kills it. But when the tank is knocked out like this, the engine's down, there's nobody left inside alive, you just gotta penetrate and you're not gonna hit anything. You gotta hit the ammo, you wanna blow it up, or you hit the engine or the ammo, you gotta hit something that's gonna explode with your bazooka, otherwise nothing's gonna happen. So the problem is the bazooka obviously is not indirect fire, it goes in a straight line. So Sturlitz was originally trying to use the AT grenade because that's the only way to get to the engine behind it. So here he's pushing in on the middle, which I think he probably should have done a bit earlier, but he was preoccupied, maybe with the tank or something. And now he's capping it, so things are looking slightly better for him. Still 42 points for Sturlitz, 69 for the enemy. So yeah, the bazooka is a direct fire weapon. Unless you hit some goodie, unless your opponent's got some good part of the tank presented to you, you're mostly just going to knock it out, but not like blow it up. You're only going to get that impressive explosion with like explosive things, or you something with penetrating power that goes far enough to go through like the entire tank and then hit the ammo on the other side. Because the bazooka, it'll get through the sort of like the outside armor, but then it's sort of, it's blown its load. It's out of good stuff. What's that? A Hetzer or a Stug? I can't tell. My eyes. Let's just blow up this window a bit so I can see what I'm looking at. That looks like a Stug. I can't tell. His crosshair's over it. Stug. All right. So. Not a bad choice for this map with such a sort of straight view thing. Like basically he's shooting right down the right down this road with his Stug. Since in a 1v1, especially when there's not as much flanking to worry about, assault guns like this, like the Stug or the Hetzer, are nice straight on. Although certainly not enough to protect you from the 85mm T-34 85 cannon. So that's very unfortunate for the opponent. And that's what you get for going up against some of the Russians' strongest armor. Even with a Stug in a head-on situation with fairly good armor, you do want to always be circumspect. If you can ever turn a fight in Men of War into something other than a straight-on slugging match, it's probably to your advantage. Just hitting them from the side or from the back, or surprising them, or getting some support. Something to just not have to rely on getting lucky from the front is always better. Sometimes you don't have much choice, but it's always worth trying. It's interesting, the opponent has the left-hand point captured, so he's likely not worrying about it until Sturlitz mounts it on offensive. But the other way to look at it, this guard sniper is out of ammo, I guess. So Sturlitz is maybe scavenging, or he doesn't notice he's out of ammo yet. Oh, he's just reloading. So, wow, let's knock this thing out. A Stug? I think. Yeah, another Stug. Well, go figure. This time he did hit it from the side though, so poor Sturlitz not keeping his tank angled towards the enemy. So the enemy probably isn't maybe thinking too much about the left-hand side of the map because he's got it captured and he's just waiting for Sturlitz to mount an attack there. But the thing is, once you've got a point captured, you should sort of think about that as a area that you can mount an attack through, because obviously there's no one at the very least in the capture zone. Like, you're assured of that. This Stug mowing people down, by the way. You're assured that there's nobody in the capture zone, obviously, because it's your point. And so that at least is safe. And frankly, your opponent likely doesn't have a lot of shit sitting like right outside the capture zone, because if they did, they'd probably be trying to capture it. They wouldn't be just sitting right outside. So it's probably fairly clear. Like, you're not guaranteed to be wide open. And in fact, if you look at the minimap, Sturlitz does have some units on the left. But it's probably clearer than, like, it's probably less occupied by the opponent than a point you're fighting over, or a point that they've captured. So that can be a nice place to sort of break on through and send in some enemy units to catch them from the side. Like, had that Stug gone in from the side, maybe it would have worked. I wouldn't recommend sending a Stug that way unless you send some infantry support along with it. It's just gonna get mowed down, but or blown up by some guy in a bush. But generally, if you're attacking and you want to hit him from the side, which of course you always do, here comes a rocket barrage from the Nebelwerfer. Is going to kill the giant AT gun and kill the people on it, but the AT gun is alive. So good for him. And we have a massive Joseph Stalin II tank purchased, so that's gonna be problems for the enemy. So yeah, always think about going in from the side if you have a chance, and you might have a chance if you have a point captured. Think about that as an avenue for assault. So I said earlier I would tell you how to cure hiccups. How to cure hiccups: you concentrate really hard on like the next hiccup, and it will never come. And I know it sounds like bullshit because like every hiccup cure sounds like bullshit, but if you do it, it works. And the coolest thing, which nobody ever, like, I don't know where I first heard about this thing, but it just said concentrate on the next one, it'll never come. And I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. And then I did it, and I was like, wow, this works. And then I did it again, and I was like, wow, this still works. And then I did it again, and I was like, wow, this still works. And the coolest thing in the world is that if you do it enough times, then it's automatic. When I said, like 10 minutes ago, guys, I just hiccuped, I'm going to cure my hiccups, I'll tell you how later, like, I knew my hiccups were going to be cured, and I didn't concentrate then. I just sort of, every time I hiccup now, I hiccup once or twice, like in quick succession, and then never again. So whenever I hiccup, I point it out to everybody. I'm like, I just hiccuped. I'm not going to hiccup anymore. Well, I don't always point it out. That would make me 10 times the asshole I already am. But it's pretty cool. So here we have this T-60 Surges wrecking shit. Sometimes you just gotta break down your opponent's cover. He's got infantry and all sorts of crevasses and stuff. And it's assaulting into that is no fun at all. You're just gonna get shot. So a light vehicle with a heavy caliber gun that can clear this stuff out can be very helpful. At the very least, it'll draw fire or scout for the scout the enemy out, and then you'll be able to put some hurt where it needs to go. And Sturlitz still has not realized that being behind this hill is maybe not the best place for his AT gun. Also needs to maybe think about reorienting his Just Stalin tank so that its front armor is slightly more like this. Yes, the track damage actually caused him to go off course, but that's perfectly off course. The only way with this would be better. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh, you need that main gun. That's not good. This is a Pack 43. That's a super heavy AT gun. He's bought his own super heavy. Boom! It knocks out the IS-2. That's really unfortunate. Like I said, turning things into a slugging match can be dangerous. What is going on? What is going on? This could get super ugly. Man, own that Pack 43. Show it who's boss. What are you doing? Just drive around. Bam! Oh, well, look at that poor little guy. Almost got squished, but then he didn't, so that was good. But he did kill another Panzer Grenadier. This is the hero T-60, hero of the Soviet Union. That guy is definitely going to get liquidated by Stalin for having too much influence. So that's a sad ending to the hero of the Soviet Union. But until then, his star burned brightly, because the candle that burns twice as bright burns half as long, as we learned from Blade Runner. And if you haven't seen Blade Runner, I don't know what you're doing on the internet. Like, really, look at your life. What was that guy's name? Semyon Frelov? Did he buy some sort of elite infantry unit? I should watch this game more closely instead of pontificating about Blade Runner. One thing I like is how Sturlitz has his infantry thing, or his inventory thing, Panzerfaust inventory thing perpetually open and under his map. I think about doing that all the time, but I worry about like misclicking, because like the inventory is sort of in the upper left, so then I'll misclick and say, here comes an Ebor for killing the Red Guard. That's the elite infantry he got. But luckily, sporadic rocket bombardment is sporadic and didn't kill everybody. So now Sturlitz making a concentrated push. Really needs to. 91 points for the enemy, 42 for Sturlitz. So if he doesn't turn this around fast, things are going to look bad, bad, bad. Hey, this guy's name is Nikolai Bykov. Bykov. What's he doing? Trying to take out his tank or something? Look, man, from the front, if there's nobody in the tank, the penetrations really don't matter. You're not going to kill any crew inside or something. You need to hit the ammo to make it blow up. From the front with a bazooka is what I mean. From the front with other stuff like an AT shell, it can penetrate sort of not just through the front but also through the back and hit the ammo. So yeah, this is just saying stuff I've said before. That guy's gonna get fucked. Yeah, don't drive into the Red Guard, but that was sort of suicide bomb. Oh well. Sturlitz really down on points. Very few points left. Not a lot of money. Don't have the money. No money, no problems. But he does have one problem, which is that he might lose. So when you get down to no money like this, you've got 35 points. You gotta start scrounging for every unit, and Sturlitz is scrounging for every unit, running away from that grenade, which of course would not have hurt him. We did not know this, but it landed behind the rocks, so he would have been safe anyways. Oh, the irony of the hilarity of life, whatever. So yeah, now you start scrounging for every unit. Luckily he's got some Red Guard hanging out down here. I'm not sure sending them up here is making a lot of sense. I'm not sure why they're going there. Maybe to defend the middle. At this point, I would really start thinking about taking the left, because what you want to do now is just keep the opponent on the back foot. Uh-oh, rockets coming in. Who's dead? Rifleman, tank crew. That thing is almost dead. Almost dead. Oh, it's dead. If he can bump it straight upwards with his own vehicle, it would survive. But he doesn't have time, I guess. That's really unfortunate. because it catches on fire and dies. In the Soldiers of Heroes of World War II, the original game that Men of War is based on, like sort of the first one in the series, if you would flip a vehicle upside down, it would not catch on fire and eventually explode. It would just sit there, you know, upside down. And I discovered this by playing the single-player demo for Soldiers Heroes of World War II, which, by the way, was a revelation. Like, imagine the first time playing a game like Men of War or Soldiers Heroes of World War II. Like, huge detail. You're like, okay, it's a real-time strategy game. And then it's like, fuck, everybody's got an inventory? I can fucking put a helmet on a guy and shoot a helmet off a guy and take a helmet I shot off a guy and put it on a guy and his model changes. It's like, what the fuck? I can blow open a wall. So, yeah, the first time I was playing that, I was like, what the fuck is going on in the demo? And there's this Tiger tank. That game is fucking hard too. Like, you think Men of War single player is hard, try Soldiers Heroes of World War II, not in co-op. Anyways, I was playing that game demo and there's like this tiger attacking you in addition to like the rest of the Third Reich. And so the tiger's attacking me and I'm like, God, I gotta blow it up. So I guess I discovered AT grenades and I was throwing them at him, and maybe I was shooting him with explosives. I was doing all sorts of shit to this tiger and I wasn't making much progress. And finally, I get like a good AT grenade hit sort of on the side of the tiger. It flips the motherfucker over. He's just like upside down tiger, and I'm like, well, okay, solves my problem. And then the fucking tiger keeps shooting. Like, the machine gun, the whole machine gun killed like 3 more of my people. And then it was just sort of sitting there trying to turn its turret, and it would turn like 2 degrees left and 2 degrees right and wiggle a bit. And it was just like upside down and very sad tiger. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on? Are the crew upside down, or have they reoriented themselves inside the tiger and they're just sort of crouching on the ceiling with their hands twisted 180 degrees so they can fire the gun? I don't know what's going on inside this tiger, but it's fucking hilarious. And of course, it's pretty easy to ignore a upside down tiger because it can't turn its turret more than 2 degrees in either direction, and it's not turning its treads. Let me say that the treads are not going to be very helpful. Don't shoot the front of the fucking Stug with a bazooka. It's not going to do a goddamn fucking thing. You gotta hit the ammo cache. And I don't know what your red guards are doing just sitting there when you know he's got an Evo for either. But anyways, he does have 2 out of 3 points, so he is at 55 points to the 91 for the enemy, so he might not yet lose. And he's up to 223 points now, because of course in this game mode you earn your money back. Because that's smart. And if you didn't, it would be dumb. But good grenade use, I have to say, by this guy. And now he might finally take out the Stug. He's got his AT gun ready. Boom! Oh, he's just getting very unlucky. Killing some people, but the thing is not... Oh no, he's going for another bazooka thing. We'll see how well this works. This guy's name is Olev Koklov. Koklov. That's funny if you're amateur. And that guy's name is, wow, Varfolomai Nestorov. So that's like Bartholomew. You ever see people named Bartholomew anymore? Except from Bart on The Simpsons. I don't know if I've ever met somebody named Bartholomew. There's Barf from Spaceballs. His full name is Bartholomew. But that guy's dead. John Candy. What am I talking about? Armored car. Interesting choice for an armored car. He's trying to hold off. So he bought this armored car just now, and of course that's the last thing he's going to buy for a while. He doesn't have a lot of points, and so he dumped a lot of points into this armored car. Not a trivial choice. Last thing he's going to have for a while. That windmill is just fucking wrecked. So this armored car is to sort of fight off infantry, and he's, I guess, either knowing or assuming, or maybe it's intuitive, that the opponent is basically down to infantry 2 at this point. They've both thrown a lot of tanks at each other. Opponent has not been throwing the heavier tanks like this guy has. We have an IS-2 on this guy's side and the big T-34s, whereas the opponent's going for Stus and the lighter Panzer IVs, so he's probably better off on that thing, but it's not like he's been like a spendthrift or something. He's still been buying plenty of tanks too, and his have been blowing up too. So, and also a bit heavier on the armored cars for the opponent. So they're both pretty much down to infantry, which is what another thing I love about Men of War. These games often, especially the 1v1s, but games near the end, they degenerate like back into the infantry. Like you start off with the infantry and light vehicles, and you build up some more of the heavier vehicles and the heavier light vehicles and the armored cars. And then you start getting the light tanks, and then the really heavy tanks, and then there's like heavy tanks and artillery and sort of big AT guns blowing it up, and then everything's been blown up, and it's like you're back down to like, what do we have points for? Well, I could buy like a squad of riflemen. And so it's this nice sort of progression where a lot of real-time strategy games, it's just like you fucking ramp up until you're like throwing these massive death and destruction at each other. And that's fun too when you get those in the larger team games. But I like how there's sort of a flow to these matches where it starts off big, it starts off small, gets bigger, then gets smaller. And now we're back down to the infantry skirmishes, although, of course, then the thing has changed because you have infantry left over from the earlier engagements, you have tanks that are maybe burnt out and you can repair. The whole landscape has been altered. There's a lot of craters and collapsed rubble, maybe there's artillery hanging around, you've got people sort of on the flanks and stuff. You've got basically everything left over from the earlier battles that you can scavenge, so it's a different sort of feeling. So this guy's name is Svyatslav Pavlov, and if you're tired of me saying Russian names, then I'm sorry, but I just find it fun. It's just like, how many real-time strategy games name every unit? It's like StarCraft, this guy's a zealot. What's this guy? A zealot. Oh, he's got 3 kills, so he's like a praetor. That's great, but his name is not Semyony Feladov or Sergei Voronin. Or maybe it is. He's like, my life for Stalin or something when he dies, but the game doesn't tell you that. That's bullshit. The game should tell you everything. Stop hiding stuff from us, Blizzard. What's StarCraft about? Not telling us unit names? What's my Zergling's name, bitch? Are they twins? Because there's 2 of them in every egg? Is every Zergling a twin? They all look alike. And I'm not being racist when I say that. I mean all Zerglings look alike. I'm just gonna go on record and say that. And if people want to get mad at me, that's fine. But I think it's true. I'm sure they look very different to the Zerglings. The Zerglings are like, oh man, did you see Zergling number 8? He's dressed like a tool today. The other ones are like, yeah, he's dressed like a tool. I don't know what a tool dresses like. Probably like a hammer or something. So, our hero is going to lose, but he put up a good fight. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for sending in this video. If you don't buy lottery tickets, they're a waste of money. Your chances of winning are very low. And brush and floss every day. Not just brush your teeth. Flossing is very important. You don't realize how important flossing is until you floss. But, and then maybe you don't, anyways. But it's still super important. So, I hope you enjoyed this game. Player Cornet 3 is gone, he has won, and goodbye.